What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch chat? Playing through a league here with this Dimir Namor list. We got some inspiration the other day from watching Aspiring Spike play Namor. Played a league off stream on Friday. Went 4-1. Making a few little updates here to see how the deck goes. Basically, it's a heavy blue base Namor list, splashing black for Psychic Frog and Fatal Push that I hope helps out into some of the aggressive matchups like Prowess, Boros Energy, stuff like that. But you've got this list that relies pretty heavily or revolves pretty heavily around Namor the Submariner, new card for Marvel superheroes, 2 and a blue for a legendary Merfolk mutant villain. It's got flying, pretty cool. Power is equal to the number of Merfolk you control, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell with 1 or more blue mana symbols in its mana cost, you create that many 1/1 blue Merfolk creature tokens. So Namor pairs extremely well with cards like Force Negation, Disrupting Shoal, free cards that still get the Merfolk because the spell itself has got the blue pips, but you don't have to pay mana for them. Subtlety doesn't work quite as well. You don't get Merfolk off Subtlety, but it is another pitch spell to add to our list of stuff here, and enables us to use up our hand extremely fast and refill with Quantum Riddler, Psychic Frog, Tameo. The rest of the deck, basically mono blue counter spells. We've got 4 copies of Counter Spell itself, 4 Force Negation, 4 Disrupting Shoal, 3 Subtlety, 3 Spell Snare. The Shadow of Doubt is a spicy little attempt the card. We'll see if it has any text or not, or if it's just completely useless. Lorien Revealed is another pitch card on top of our 4 copies of Sink into Stupor to make sure we're hitting our land drops to hardcast Riddlers, play Namor, whatever his name is. Sideboard, 2 Harbinger of the Seas, Mystical Dispute, 4 Consign to Memory, 3 Thoughtseize to help out with the combo matchups, and Tron that I struggled with last time. Kaito Bane of Nightmares because Kaito, 3 Engineered Explosives, and a Nihil Spellbomb. Marvel fans, why does this Fishman have flying? Because comic books make no sense. All I can say. Dude living at the bottom of the ocean has got wings on his feet. Riddler Aziz. Why is Riddler Snoresville? Riddler's just like a necessity. I feel like we have to have a reasonable amount of like hand refill potential. All the free stuff. Need lands. All right. Keep it. What are we throwing back? Throw back Fatal Push. It's probably right to throw back Namor. Unfortunately, we have no pitch card in our hand. We just get the scientific breakdown of a flying fish. Yeah. You. Ordered a playset of Namor yesterday. Never trust the price of mythics. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, my Tameo. Miss that Tameo so much. Psychic Frog. So I don't know if this is Gorio's or if this is like Dimir mid-range. If it's Dimir mid-range, I would rather use this Fatal Push. But if it's Goryo's, I'd rather use the counter spell. Because I don't want them to be able to discard an Atraxa for free. Ordered a playset of Namor yesterday. Never trust the price of Mythics. Yeah, I ordered a playset. Looks like it's just a Dimir mid-range mirror. I ordered a playset last week. On Friday after I played the league with them. I was like, this is pretty good. I have like Bowmaster plus. I was just like Merfolk, or not Merfolk, Murktide. Archmage's Charm would go crazy. Yeah, I know Spike was playing Archmage's Charm. I'm a little less sold on that one. Mostly like, I just don't think Archmage's Charm itself is that playable. So I don't want to play Archmage's Charm just to try to enable Namor. Like my match I played against Affinity on Friday, I beat them by turn 1 disrupting shoaling a Pinnacle Emissary like both games 2 and 3. Which is kind of hilarious. My friend got charmed by Merfolk in the challenge yesterday from Namor Trigger. That is rough. Man, is this a mirror match? Opponent spending all these turns and like not doing anything. Plus multiple. It can't be a like. There's no way this is a mirror match, but consider multiple sink into stupor. Pretty tempted to just start picking a fight on their turn. I think now that I picked up the disrupting shoal, I will. Because I've always got Quantum Riddler on my turn. Oculus. Now maybe I'm less interested in subtlety, but I probably should or still should. Cryptic Command. So this Cryptic Command, Abhorrent Oculus. This has got to be like. This has got to be like Namor Oculus, right? Sink into stupor, target my subtlety. Okay. Where are they going with the Oculus? Oculus on the bottom. Do I want to draw 2? Probably not. Maybe this is an under. It's got to be, right? Because, like, why else would you have Abhorrent Oculus in your Cryptic Command deck? Like, Cryptic Command tells me this is probably a Namor build. And Abhorrent Oculus tells me it's probably like an Oculus Unearth build. So I'm assuming it is a Namor Oculus Unearth deck. It's going to take an act of God to convince me of anything else. Why are people playing Cryptic Command with Namor? 2 reasons. 1, Aspiring Spike did it. And 2, because has many blue mana pit. Any more questions? Is it to have a 4 CMC option to pitch to Shoal? Maybe. I think you're going too far down the rabbit hole. Just stop at has many blue mana pit. Don't give more credit than that. As much blue mana pit. Done. End of story. Problem solved. Same reason as Archmage's Charm. Like, if all you cared about was 3 mana pips, you've got Force and Negation, you've got Sink into Stupor, Force and Negation, Namor itself. But that's not what they care about. They care about has many blue mana pip. Sure. Mr. Shizniz, thank you so much for the 3-month resub. Let's do this. We need more shadow content. Well, I'm going to be a little disappointed in this current league. Wait, Loki triggers with shackles. Damn, I'll get you a list in your $18. I will listen very intently if you follow the appropriate donation league requirements. Opponent's missing land drops. I think I'm just going to pass back. Not a huge reason to jam Namor into counterspell mana. Mike will do anything for $18. Anything's a pretty bold claim. All right. What do we think about Sink into Stupor on this? If I sink, they get to discard the hand size. That could be a little awkward. I guess I just have to actually counterspell. I swear this has got to be a Namor mirror. I'm not an amulet player, but $18 is $18. I told you. I told you. I told you they were a Namor deck. Do I have any interest? I could just like shoal this off of a Riddler, which is really funny. You know what? Oh. Yeah. They pitched Shoal Murktide. Man, that would have been absolutely hilarious if they Shoal pitched Murktide. Thank you for the idea of putting Namor in a normal deck. After seeing your tweets, I built a Dimir version similar to this and went 4-1. Then I tried Izzet build that I'm 10-0 with. Oh, hell yeah. You got a link to the Izzet build? Sounds like chat's curious as well. So before we move on, just so people are aware of how disrupting Shoal works, I put Namor on the stack. Opponent disrupting Shoal pitches force negation. So they have to pay 5, in this case, 2 blue plus the 3 from force negation to counter Namor. But they get to play the entire spell for free because of Disrupting Shoal's alternate cost. So, but Disrupting Shoal's CMC on the stack is 5. X is included in the CMC of what you pitch. So for me to counter that Disrupting Shoal, I have to pay 5 plus 2 blue, which is the 2 blue for Disrupting Shoal, 5 for the Quantum Riddler that I exiled to it. So my Disrupting Shoal CMC on the stack is 7. They're probably not going to show me back. All right, let's check out ATX's list. 4 Tameo, 2 Snapcaster, 4 Thunder Trap, 4 Namor, 4 Discharge, 2 Spell Snare, 4 Tune the Narrative, 4 Counterspell, 4 Flame, 2 Flare, 4 Force, 3 Sync, bunch of lands. Yeah, I like this. Like, when I played the league the other day, what I found out about Namor, in my opinion, and maybe ATX can back this up, if Namor makes like 4 tokens, it's fantastic. Like, it is absolutely lights out if it just makes like 4 tokens, which is usually something like play Namor, force a negation on your turn, or Disrupting Shoal or whatever, untap, counterspell another spell, and then you're just golden after that. Like, you've made enough bodies. Namor itself is big enough. I don't think you have to go overkill on trying to put like 30 tokens into play off of all these Archmage's charms and cryptic commands and whatnot. Like, I don't think you need all that. I think it's flashy and it's exciting, but I don't think it's like necessary. And they're clunky cards. Namor's just a good card, doesn't take much to turn the corner. Exactly. Like, I don't even think I had a Namor make more than 2 or make more than 4 tokens the other day because the game was just over by that point. Yep. Someone told me Murktide's good with Namor. Why would I tell you? A straight bold-faced lie. If anything, Quantum Riddler is like exponentially better with it than Murktide is. You might not be aware of this, but free spells really great with draw multiple card engine. Do I want Quantum Riddler? I think I will take it because it's a pitch card to force a negation. Thinking about playing Namor and Simic Ritual. It's probably pretty good there, honestly. All the Flare of Denials and Force Negations and... Was that fetch just to, like, not get caught in a fetch, or is this a metallic rebuke deck? Love to see a fatal push. I'll keep a frog. What do we got? Looks like Flame of Anor mana. Tune and crack a clue. Fine. Is jamming Namor maybe better there, so you can go frog plus counterspell on turn 4? Well, I kind of figured I wanted to have the Namor more than the frog, so, like, jamming into the obvious counterspell with the Namor sounded a bit better to me. Got the Tameo for, I've got Otawara for Tameo. Tameo numero dos. Air of Denial. Okay. This just ATX's build? Looks like it, doesn't it? What's my play here? I could just go land jam Quantum Riddler. That's probably not the best thing. Probably better to interact with this Tameo. I want to just make some Merfolk. They have Flare of Denial. Sure. I guess if they have Flame of Anor, this kind of sucks. Oh, Flame of Anor. Let's attack with Namor. Think I'm gonna go upkeep, push Tameo. Let it go. All right, so we counterspell. They flare or spell snare. Third Tameo. Or no, that's the one we bounced. This has got to get a flare. Seeing back-to-back Namor decks is kind of hilarious. Go to the next game. You think he's worth it into the Namor matchup? Might be worth it just for like Tameo. Or I could just go the Thoughtseize route. Probably don't care about Tameo like that much. We are on just forward, Sink into Stupor, and Odawara. Every time I get a notification, I hope to see you playing Wan Shi Tong. I feel like I have been pretty adamant about saying on stream that like I do not enjoy playing that deck regularly. So I understand other people liking it, but like very, very unlikely to see me playing it. This hand's a little weird. I think I'm gonna ship this. Look for like Thoughtseize or Frog, or I guess Namor is fine. No tomato on one. Been that. If I had third land in hand, I'd probably keep that Thoughtseize, but without third land, I think I'd rather find lands. They're probably in the same way or same situation, unless they already have a Thunder Trap in hand. Am I jamming Namor into Counterspell? Probably not. I don't think I want to jam Namor here. They Counterspell. I Disrupting Shoal. And then I'm just like playing out a defenseless Namor. Like anybody's going to be blinking. How necessary are the two Tameos in this list? Well, seeing as how this is the second league I've played with the deck, I don't really know what is or is not necessary to like any extent at the moment. Like for me, the Tamios are just two more ways to hopefully generate some cards as the game goes on. Cameo down. Here's a Namor. Shock this in to make it at least look like I have counterspell. You have the energy. All right, so at first glance, it does look like we are not too great into the Izzet Namor list. Am I just taking Thunder Trap? I'd be like kind of happy if they would just spend their entire turn going for Thunder Trap Trainer, but I doubt they're just going to tap out for 6 mana. Izzet Namor looks sick. It does look pretty good, doesn't it? I wonder if we should be on 4 Tameo. Like, spots like where we're at right now, Tameo would look exceptionally good. Maybe if the Namor mirrors, I will absolutely say that the Namor list between mine, Aspiring Spikes, ATXs, they've all got a very, very, very big question mark at the 1-drop slot. I like Tune the Narrative here because it's really good with the Disrupting Shoals, giving like a blue 1-mana spell. So I do think that's got some merit. All right, so I've got 2 options here. Option number 1 is let this go. Option number 2 is Disrupting Shoal, this Force Negation. They do have 3 cards in hand, including, I know, another Force of Negation. So them having a blue card's not crazy. Yeah, I think I'll make them use Force Negation blue card if they have it. Come down to whatever their last card is. I agree that the one drops aren't amazing. I've considered running a couple Ragavan in the board, but it's always tough to squeeze in more sideboard cards. Yeah, I considered Consign to Memory in the main is like an additional 1-mana spell for disrupting Shoal, plus can use it with Quantum Riddlers. But the space is so awkward. Like, I feel like I just really, really want 5 more slots in the main deck. Pretty good. Tune the Narrative and Tune the Narrative, Flare of Denial. So they do have an answer to this Quantum Riddler. Has anyone tried hard control with Narset, Daze, Namor? Not that I'm aware of. Got a Flare of Denial, I really want to make them use that before we get to Namor. Apparently my chat is purple to my opponent. I guess we'll save the clue. I will say, I do feel like I've had pretty good top decks in this Dimir version. I'd like to warp a Quantum Riddler. Oh, this is great. I love every bit of this. Basically, the goal is just for me to stop Tamiyo and see Quantum Riddlers. You're down like 3 cards on turn 4 with an enemy Tamiyo on board. I don't even know how that was winnable. Couldn't tell you, honestly. Best to just not question it. Now, I wonder if this is a take the draw matchup. Draw probably feels better unless your hand is Thoughtseize Frog specific. Yeah, my real problem with taking the draw is turn 1 Tameo. Like we've got 4 Fatal Push, but if we don't have a Fatal Push in our opener and they just play a turn 1 Tameo, then we have to go down like multiple cards to subtlety it. Hope we have one of our very few 1-drop blue cards to be able to Disrupting Shoal it. And that all just seems like a big ask. All right, here's a frog. Cameo is very gross in fair matchups. Trying to keep this fetch untapped so that I have Revolt to Fatal Push and Namor. Hey, look, it's the thing I was concerned about. I kind of think I want to push now. If I go to their upkeep, they've got like hard cast Force Negation, hard cast Flare of Denial, plus another spell. All right, so that's fine. Push number 2. Play Namor. I am the Namor god. Fear me, mortals. Oh man, this is so fun. This is so much fun. What flavor of Namor is next? I will say Quantum Riddler looks so good in the Namor mirror. Keep it on the play. Morios. Wario's Vengeance. What do we got? I've only been listening. Does Namor give you 2 tokens off warp? No, Namor only triggers on non-creature spells. So force and negation, counter spell, disrupting shoal, that stuff. Opponent appreciates my contribution to the Dimir team. I like you, opponent. Got good things to say. I just want an Undercity or good draw. All right, what you got? Please don't bend in Atraxa. Please no Atraxa. Are you in the Namor bracket today or what? Could be. It'd be pretty funny to just go 3 for 3 on Namor decks. Grixis Namor? Hold up. Wait. Snow-covered swamp. What on earth does snow-covered swamp mean? Sure. I could counterspell, but I don't feel like I want to get hit back with like a spell snare and get counterspell plus Namor. Some people just like playing snow basics. You're overthinking it. Well, I'm fine with like opponent playing a snow basics, but fetching out a basic swamp. What does that mean for me? Is this like Necro because they're on black fetches and they're getting a swamp instead of like a watery grave or something to have counterspell? Like when I play this Namor here, am I about to get wrecked because my opponent just untaps and plays a Necro Dominance? No Necro Dominance. No. My Namor. All right, something good off the top. What they do, they put Psychic Frog on top. Let's... Am I surveilling here, or am I just Odawaring this frog? I kind of feel like I'm just supposed to Odawar the frog. Like, if I surveil and go to their turn, assume I throw a land into the yard, I surveil, draw something I want. Am I playing it into a frog? Probably not. I think I just need to try to, like, top deck a counterspell here. No! My frog. Froggy frog. Gross. Universe, what's up? We're currently 2-0, but I think we're going to lose at least this game. We still got games 2 and 3 this match. Move along. They're on heat 2, maybe with the baubles. I could definitely see that. Could consider spell bomb. Yeah, we're just bringing in 1 EE. I don't want to, like, cut too many blue cards with Disrupting Shoals still in the deck. But I do feel like if I can have a good mass of 2 and 3 drop blue stuff, then I'm probably okay. I really don't want to mulligan against a Thoughtseize deck on the play. Bobble me. What's coming off the top? Are we reading it? Is it something good? Thoughtseized. Nethergoyf. Warp Riddler here. Try to hit this third land. We think they're still on Unholy, or is this just for Nethergoyf? Zero to the top, 2 to the bottom. They do have the land. We also find a land. It's not a particularly great land, though. Am I just jamming Namor? This could be Mystical Dispute, it could be Spell Snare, it could be Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm just playing Namor. Dodges Fatal Push. Let's say I have Revolt. Do. They can put land in the yard. Okay. I'm going to block this. I know that they can potentially surveil into another card type, but if they surveil, it means they're not getting a basic, and this Harbinger might be a shutout. So I think I'm willing to take the risk. If they have like an instant speed removal, like a Fatal Push, they'd have it anyway. Yeah, so just soak up a free few points of damage there. Now Harbinger looks pretty bad. And it says they're testing Nethergoy Flow State Kaito. Well, if you see a Kaito, I'm in some trouble. What do you think about Lorien overall? It's fine. Like, lets you cheat on land count a little bit. Just being a one mana land cycler, as well as like a pitchable to force negation and subtlety. I'm basically just on it because I'm already on 4 Sink into Stupor. So it's like the 5th copy of Sink into Stupor. Like I don't know if I would play the first copy before the first Sink in, or I don't think I would play the first copy of Lorien Revealed before the 4th Sink into Stupor. So opponent can flip their Tamiyo next turn. Thinking about a second Sinker Lorien for my Wizards deck. I'd probably say Sink would give you more. Play that as a land. Closer to Quantum Riddler. Played Lorien on Saturday at an RCQ and it felt underwhelming. Were you finding yourself cycling it or pitching it to something or hard casting it more often than not? You have free Kaito pickup on me. All right, I really need to find land for Quantum Riddler or basic swamp, which this is neither. This will grow the Nethergoyf up to a 5/6. The opponent says the red splash is for 2 Pyroclasm, Meltdown. They're just like straight Dimir mid-range with splash for some sideboard stuff. So they're like more Dimir aggro. The interaction is good. Or it says, I'm testing Nethergoyf Flow State Kaito. The interaction is good and faster. Less Quantum Riddler, more aggressive. More defensive against the weak matchups like aggro. Lorien is better in blue-white control than tempo for sure, unless you're trying to make flow state work. Then Lorien makes more sense there as well. Lorien's better in blue-white control than tempo for sure, unless you're trying to make flow state work. Yeah, everything about flow state has been like really, really iffy to me. Just in time for the Pauper Plus challenge. This is news to me. All right, so I'm just jamming Quantum Riddler. This state's looking pretty good for the opponent right now. I mean, us not seeing a black source is looking pretty good for the opponent right now. How much different would this game be if we just like seen a fetch? think best case scenario would be draw basic swamp, fatal push the frog, attack it Tameo, play second Riddler. 3 sinks, Odawara, and basic island's pretty wild. It is. I chose not to mulligan the double sink hand, which I understand had some risk. But we are 16 cards deep and haven't seen a fetch or... All right, them minusing Tameo is super nice for us here. I think they should have just ticked up this Tameo. They know about the fatal push in my hand that's completely dead. They could tick up Tameo, block Quantum Riddler with the Psychic Frog, and just like threaten lethal attack. Make you discard. Black fetch. It is a fetch. So if I think I have to Quantum Riddler and try to hit a black fetch lane. If I Quantum Riddler pass the turn, Tameo minus get back, Shieldred's Edict, make me sack one of the Quantum Riddlers, and they attack in for lethal. That doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, I think I have to Riddler hit a black fetch. Double black sources, 3 cards down. But like we're not too black dependent. Maybe we can find room for another black source, but Arid Mesa. Boros Energy action, not Boros Energy. Blood Crypt. Bardu Energy. Bardu, I'm gonna kill this, untap, play a frog. Arid Mesa, this has got to be like Mardu Energy, right? Never mind. Zoo? Zoo with just a really awkward mana start. Four territorial Kavu. Pretty good draw. Pretty good draw. All right. Zoo. Signs. We have harbingers. Really care about much else. Spell snare's not great. Tameo's not great. Force negation. Probably rather keep in a Tameo than any of those. Do I want Thoughtseize in on the draw? I think I like Thoughtseize better than Force. Kind of like one Tameo a little bit more. Maybe one Harbinger on the draw. How good is Disrupting Shoal? Probably not very, actually. Tameo is probably better than Disrupting Shoal. Little bit difficult to Disrupting Shoal a 14 drop. Do I want Kaito in? Not. No, not the turn one Ragioli. I'm 1000% gonna subtlety. Sorry, Namor. Kept Ragavan on top, and we draw into the Tameo. Just can't draw it up any better. I guess you could. Or you don't, but... Alright, land dash Ragavan. So Delta Thoughtseize, plan on getting a Surveil to try to hit third land. Quantum Riddler. Well, when they practiced offense this Ragavan, I'm going to be a little bit sad. Damn it. So sad about that. You probably scoop here. Never mind. Opponent giving us chances here. What does that do? They can't flashback practiced offense. They can warp Riddler. Or they can flashback practiced offense. 4/3 double striker. That does enough. Game 3. Spots like this, I would so much rather Lorien Reveal just be an actual land, but... Alright, practiced offense. Does that mean they're on Guide Pride? Something Zoo players are doing right now. I know I've seen Guide Pride and Zoo. I feel like I've not seen practiced offense in Zoo. I can't find a similar list. I could Disrupting Shoal or Ragavan and fetch up a Surveil. Disrupting Shoal, Ragavan, fetch up a Surveil. If I hit second land drop, I've got Consign or Fatal Push for a Kavu or a Scion. I'm going to give this a try. This is obviously an extremely, extremely greedy, weird keep. But I kind of just want to see what'll happen here. Moon Shadow. Land. Tomato, you're not a land. Moon Shadow number 2. I'm not currently playing Frog or Dimir decks at the moment, but still watch your content because your explanation of lines of play are very important to learn when I'm not playing Magic. That's all of the encouragement I need. $18 land deck, too risky for this. 18 lands plus 4 Sink into Stupor plus a Lorien Revealed plus a Surveil and 4, 5, 6, 7, like 9 pitch cards, 9 free spells. We've just drawn mono Quantum Riddlers. Like, I don't think the decision was great. I don't think the decision was that bad, though. Like, let's check before I say anything. We've got 17 other lands that would be good hits. 4 Sink into Stupor that would be good. The Lorien Revealed that would be good. And instead, our draws have been Namor double Quantum Riddler. I think that's kind of rough look at variance, but one lander most of the time ain't a good idea. I understand that, but at the same time, like, if you never keep a one, you cannot win a tournament of Magic the Gathering without getting lucky at some point over the course of the event. I choose to try to make that luck out of a one lander in this spot instead of some of the other potential avenues. Mistaken coming in with a raid. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. You came in at a bit of a rough time as we're trying to claw back against Zoo in game 3 here, but welcome nonetheless. Yeah, like it's just playing an odds thing. Like, I've got a reasonable number of chances to make this work. I've got, like I said, the Surveil. I've got the Surveil. I've got 4 1-mana plays that line up with a lot of their starts. Based on the information I know, it's not a horrible keep. Opponent happens to go Moonshadow, Ragavan. Like, something I'm never expecting into the keep I have that's really good if they go Ragavan into Scion or something like that. So I just think it's one of those moments where I don't mind bending the rules in a league that doesn't matter just to see if it's got some merit. Probably not right most of the time, but I would rather test it out now and see if it works than never give it a shot. Cavern of Souls on Merfolk. This Silvergill Mentor. I think I'm just going to let them have this one. Save a subtlety for a a future Merfolk. Put Hexcatcher on the bottom. We play our Namor. Pass the turn. We're probably just firing off Disrupting Shoal on whatever. Just to get some tokens and some power going. Not that I'm feeling particularly confident. Guess we'll wait for the next one, because there's always the chance maybe they just sack something off. So this Disrupting Shoal does not counter Lord of Atlantis. But opponent clearly thinks that it does, and that's worth something to me. Disrupting Shoal is worded such that you can target something without needing to counter it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It does give all of my Merfolk Island Walk, oddly enough. If I had a double blue spell to cast, we could potentially have a good turn. Like, if I had a counter spell right now and could just fire it off, this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 9, 12 on the dot. Gonna be a weird game. Be a very, very weird game. Altsies is probably better than some of these counters. Yeah, Dispute's fine. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. I guess Dispute's better into Flare of Denial or Force Negation or something like that. But I really don't want, like, any of them. If opponent gives us an Aether Vial to blow up. And Spring Merfolk. Sure. All right, what do you got? No Cavern. Master of the Pearl Trident. Master of the Pearl, no, go away, please. Do kind of like Frog Fatal Push a little more than Namor here. If they want to burn like a counter. What you got going on? Hidebinders sink into stupor. I'll just play out the Tameo. Get a flip off this if they don't block. Oh wait, no, I already drew 2 off the Riddler. Never mind. But it says meant to sack off the vault there. I'm actually very, very glad they said that because I would have been probably way happier if they had sacked off the vault. Would have actively loved them sacking off the vault there. Draw. Let's hiya in. Now. Could flip tomato. Yeah, like flip tomato, frog, hold up, fatal push. Hidebinder this. Fine. Want to fatal push the hex catcher. Yeah. So they should just let that go. So if they hit a land, they can sink my frog, attack with Mutavault. Conveniently, that was not a land, and that's a good draw. So, attack in. We'll flip Tamiyo, or we don't flip Tamiyo. That's right. That is how that works, isn't it? All right. Been like 2 whole months since I've played against a Tishana's Tidebinder, and apparently in that time I've managed to forget every piece of text this card has. Can you push it after the first draw and still flip? I didn't have Revolt. This is pretty good turnaround because I get to make 2 dudes and kill this Tidebinder. You sacked the clue? I didn't have a clue. I sacked clue the turn before, or no. I never got a chance to make a clue, right? I played Tamiyo. How did that go? I played Tamiyo after the Riddler. Attacked with Frog, drew 2, passed the turn. They played Mutavault, passed back. I attacked with Frog, Tamiyo, Tamiyo. Yeah, no, I drew the card, or I drew off the clue the turn before to flip the Tamiyo. Then they Tidebinder the Tamiyo activation. Then I went to my next turn. Attacking with Psychic Frog, Tamiyo. Draw off of Frog. Activate Clue. Opponent Tidebinders my Tamiyo. Then I Fatal Push the Hex Catcher because the Tamiyo wouldn't be able to flip even if I Fatal Push the Tidebinder. What happens if you push the Tidebinder in response to its ETB, though? Would Tamiyo still flip? No, it wouldn't. It stifles the trigger that it targets and then shuts off future abilities. So if you Tidebinder the Tamiyo trigger, the trigger still gets countered, whether the Tidebinder gets removed or not. But the Tamiyo can't flip anymore, period, if it sticks around, or that turn if you Fatal Push with the trigger on the stack because you've already drawn your 3rd card to trigger the Tamiyo initially, so you can't draw your 3rd card again. Thank you for the explanations. I don't even play anything close to this deck, but love your commentary on play choices. The way I usually try to approach it is, even if I'm dead wrong, if I'm just like 100% wrong on my decision making, if I give a thought process or an explanation for why I did what I did, I can dissect that later. But if I give like no explanation and I'm wrong, then I run into the issue of like, what do we have to talk about? What do we have to have a discussion about? And I think that's where things get really dangerous. It's like, I would rather be vocal and explain a wrong decision than be quiet and be right. Tide Shaper. Get in for one. Play something that we can counter. Don't want more lands, but I would like to subtlety something. Or I guess best case scenario would be opponent playing like third land Harbinger, and I get to disrupting shoal it. That doesn't seem to be what they're doing. Pass back. If they go for the same line again, I can sink into Stupor the Tide Shaper. Catcher. Subtlety off the sink because I have the chance to just hard cast the Disrupting Shoal next turn. So I can go like hard cast Disrupting Shoal here, untap, cast Quantum Riddler. Yes, subtlety is probably pretty good. All right. I was inspired this morning to write a 400-page dissertation on how loss/traumatic effects, deck building, philosophy, the psychology of Magic the Gathering. It's so much text. I think opponent forgot it has 6 toughness. That I've done that more times than I can count. All right, Namor. Do Namor things. Maybe not. I would like to counter that and draw 2 cards. Nice. Now you. Spoiler alert, I would like to counter that and draw 2 cards. Lord of Atlantis. I'd like to counter that and maybe draw 2 cards, except I only draw 1. No! Didn't let me finish my kindly worded message. They said that they liked the deck a lot, and I was going to tell them it's been an absolute blast to play. So, fortunately, I don't get to tell them. They were a nice opponent. Okay, so 3 and 2. What did we think? The only times we got to cast Namor were into the heavy counterspell decks, which was 4 of my 5 matches. So that's pretty funny. Namor did get a couple automatic scoops early on. Later, it seemed like our games were a little more reliant around like Frog. So hard to be a big judge of those. Thoughtseize was pretty good out of the board. Never got to Shadow of Doubt anybody. Lorien Revealed was a little awkward. And if I expect to see a lot of Namor mirrors, we probably need to up our Mystical Dispute count. I was not expecting to have 2 Namor mirrors in the first league. So we'll see what kind of adjustments we can make. All right, what have I missed in the chat? Someone told me they don't play green fetches in fear that Titan can copy it for an obscure out despite playing a green splash. I have heard that statement quite a few times, like, don't play Misty Rainforest because Titan can Echoing Deeps your Misty Rainforest. And I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. If my Titan opponent is Echoing Deepsing my Misty Rainforest, I feel fantastic about the spot I'm in. Like, if that's the best play you're coming up with, huzzah. We have won the internal Titan v Frog struggle for the day. There was like a little bit more to that statement when Titan was running a Surveil land. Like, I know Mistaken has a few times. I don't know if he still is or not, but there was a while where he was playing like 1 fetch land and 1 of the commercial districts. And like, it would be a little bit more noticeable and important if that were something that were stock. But I don't think it's stock in Amulet right now to play a Surveil land. So all it matters is for basic forest. More than likely, your opponent has the opportunity to get forests if they want to get forest. Like, that's not going to be their way to play around Harbinger of the Seas. What else? Okay, so do we want to play another league with Namor with some changes, or do we want to play something different? I'll throw it out to the chat to give their 2 cents. If I was going to play another league with Namor, I would start with cutting Shadow, Lorien Revealed, add another land, actual factual land. Probably add another Tameo. That looked pretty good.